Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something powerful, something that has the ability to change your life in ways you can't even imagine. It's not about luck. It's not about who you know. It's about one thing and one thing only, believing in yourself. You see, the world doesn't hand out success like candy. Life is tough. People will doubt you. Circumstances will challenge you. But here's the secret. The only opinion that truly matters, the only voice that can define your destiny, is yours. When you start believing in yourself, the world will start believing in you too. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you held back because of fear? How many times have you said, "I can't," "I'm not ready," or "I'm not good enough"? Every time you say those words, you shrink your possibilities. Every time you doubt yourself, you give someone else permission to define your life. But what if you decided, right now, flip the script? What if you decided that starting today, you will no longer be your own worst enemy? Belief is not some mystical power, it's a decision. It's a choice to step into your greatness, even when the path is uncertain, even when everyone else doubts you. Let me tell you something. Inside you is a power, a force, a potential so huge that if you tapped into it fully, it would astonish even you. That potential doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for the perfect time. It demands action, it demands courage, and it demands belief. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you'll never fail. It doesn't mean life will suddenly become easy. It means that when you do fall, you get back up stronger. It means that challenges become stepping stones instead of obstacles. It means that you no longer live in the shadows of other people's expectations. You start creating your own reality. Look around you. Every person you admire, every story of success you've ever heard, began with a single decision. They believed they could. They decided that no circumstance, no setback, no voice of doubt would stop them from pursuing their dreams. And that decision, that unwavering belief, turned ordinary people into legends. So I ask you, right now, in this moment, what are you going to decide? Are you going to let fear, doubt, or past failures define you? Or are you going to stand tall, look yourself in the mirror and say, "I am capable, I am worthy, I am ready to take my life to the next level"? Because here's the truth, the world needs you. It needs your ideas, your energy, your passion, and your unique contribution. But none of that will matter if you don't believe in yourself. Belief is the spark. Action is the fire. And together, they will light a path to a life that's bigger, bolder, and more extraordinary than you ever thought possible. It's time to stop waiting for validation. Time to stop listening to the voices that tell you you can't. Time to step into your power and start believing in yourself like never before. Because the moment you do, everything changes. And the world will never be the same because you will never be the same. Belief is a choice. It's a decision that only you can make, and it has the power to change everything about your life. Think about it for a moment. Every achievement you've ever admired, every success story you've ever heard, began with a single choice. The person chose to believe in themselves. They decided that no circumstance, no doubt, no fear, and no opinion of others would dictate what they could achieve. Belief is not something that comes automatically. It's not something you inherit or stumble upon by chance. It is an active, deliberate choice you make every single day, and the moment you understand that, you take control of your destiny. Many people go through life as if belief is something that happens to them, as if confidence is a gift that some people are born with and others are left without. But the truth is, belief is not external. It doesn't depend on approval from your boss, your family, or society. It doesn't matter how many people doubt you, how many times you've failed, or how many obstacles appear in front of you. Belief is internal. It's a state of mind that you cultivate, and it begins with a single conscious choice: to trust yourself, to know that you are capable, and to decide that you will no longer let fear define your life. Consider, for a moment how many times you've limited yourself simply because you didn't believe in your own potential. How many times have you avoided pursuing an opportunity, a dream, or even a simple idea because you thought, I'm not ready, I don't have what it takes, or I can't do this. Every time you make that choice, you close doors that were meant to open. Every time you choose self, doubt over self, belief, you shrink your possibilities and settle for less than what you are capable of achieving. And yet, belief is always available to you if you are willing to take ownership of it. If you are willing to decide that your life will no longer be dictated by hesitation or fear. Belief is powerful because it transforms the way you see the world. When you truly believe in yourself, challenges become opportunities, failures become lessons, and obstacles become stepping stones. The problems that once seemed insurmountable suddenly appear manageable because you approach them from a place of confidence. Belief fuels action, and action produces results. When you choose to believe in yourself, you begin to take steps that align with your true potential, steps that you may have never considered before. And every step you take reinforces the belief, creating a momentum that cannot be stopped. It's important to recognize that belief is not blind optimism. Belief does not mean ignoring reality, pretending that challenges don't exist, or assuming that success will come without effort. True belief is grounded in courage and commitment. It is the understanding that, no matter how difficult the journey may be, you have the ability to rise, to adapt, and to overcome. It is the unwavering decision to act in the face of fear and to move forward even when the path is uncertain. When you operate from this mindset, every obstacle becomes a teacher, every failure becomes a guide, and every setback becomes a signal to adjust and continue moving forward. The choice to believe in yourself also impacts how others see you. Confidence is magnetic. When you stand firm in your own belief, you influence the people around you. You attract opportunities, allies, and mentors because they sense that you are committed to your own growth. People naturally gravitate toward those who exude confidence, not arrogance, but a grounded, genuine belief in their own abilities. When you decide to believe in yourself, you not only change your own life, but you also inspire those around you to step into their potential. Every moment that passes is an opportunity to choose belief over doubt. It's not about waiting until you feel ready, because readiness is often a trap. The truth is, you never feel fully prepared to take the first step into greatness. Belief is what bridges that gap between where you are now and where you want to go. It's the fuel that allows you to move forward when the path is unclear, when the odds seem stacked against you, and when the voices of doubt grow loud. Choosing to believe in yourself is the moment you reclaim control over your life, the moment you take responsibility for your own success, and the moment you refuse to let fear dictate your future. It begins with a single decision, a commitment to see yourself not as you are limited by circumstances, but as you are capable of becoming. It begins when you replace "I can't" with "I will try," when you replace hesitation with action, and when you replace self-doubt with determination. This choice, simple yet profound, is the foundation upon which all growth, all achievement, and all fulfillment are built. Overcoming self-doubt is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward transforming your life. It is the barrier that stands between you and your true potential, and it is something that everyone faces at some point. Self-doubt is subtle. It whispers to you quietly, convincing you that you are not capable, that you are not worthy, or that you will never succeed. It disguises itself as caution, as realism, even as humility, but make no mistake, self-doubt is a thief, stealing your opportunities, your confidence, and your ability to take action. Every time you say, "I can't," or "I'm not good enough," you reinforce a belief that limits you. And the truth is, These words, these thoughts are choices. You can challenge them. You can replace them with a mindset that empowers you to act boldly, even in the face of fear and uncertainty. The first step to overcoming self-doubt is awareness. You have to recognize when those negative thoughts appear. Notice the moments when you hesitate, when you question yourself, when you feel that inner voice telling you that you're not ready or not capable. Awareness allows you to separate your true potential from the false narratives you have been telling yourself. It allows you to see that doubt is not reality. It is a habit, a conditioned response, a story you've been repeating for too long. Once you recognize it, you gain the power to confront it directly. You can choose to stop listening to it and start listening to a different voice. The voice of possibility, the voice that knows what you are truly capable of achieving. The second step is reframing. Self-doubt convinces you that obstacles are insurmountable, that failure is permanent, and that your efforts are meaningless. But when you reframe your perspective, you begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for growth. You begin to understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a stepping stone to mastery. Every setback becomes a lesson, every mistake a guidepost that points you closer to your goals. Reframing transforms fear into curiosity, hesitation into action, and limitation into opportunity. It allows you to approach life with a mindset that is proactive rather than reactive, courageous rather than timid. The third step is action. There is no way to build confidence without doing the work, without stepping into the arena even when you are uncertain. Action is the antidote to self-doubt because it proves to you, moment by moment, that you are capable. Every small victory reinforces your belief in yourself. Every step forward, no matter how small, chips away at the foundation of doubt. You cannot simply think your way out of uncertainty. You must move, you must act, and you must confront the challenges that have been holding you back. Action creates momentum, and momentum generates belief. The more you do, the more you realize that the limits you imagined were never real. They were only illusions created by hesitation and fear. Another critical element in overcoming self-doubt is surrounding yourself with support and inspiration. The people you spend time with, the environments you inhabit, and the messages you absorb all shape your inner dialogue. Seek out individuals who believe in growth, who encourage courage, and who celebrate progress. Immerse yourself in stories, teachings, and experiences that remind you of what is possible. When you surround yourself with energy that fuels belief, you reinforce the mindset needed to overcome doubt and take consistent action. You begin to internalize the truth that your potential is not defined by past mistakes, by other people's opinions, or by temporary setbacks. Finally, overcoming self-doubt requires a commitment to persistence. Doubt will not disappear overnight. It may return in moments of challenge, in times of stress, or when you are stepping outside your comfort zone. But each time it appears, you have an opportunity to choose differently. Each time, you can remind yourself that your capabilities are far greater than your fears, and that the only thing standing between you and your goals is the decision to keep moving forward. Persistence, combined with self-belief, creates an unstoppable force that allows you to rise above uncertainty and achieve results you once thought were impossible. When you begin to overcome self-doubt, you open doors to opportunities you never imagined. You stop holding yourself back from pursuing your dreams. You stop letting fear dictate your choices. You begin to operate from a place of confidence and clarity, knowing that your actions matter, that your potential is real, and that your future is created by the choices you make today. Overcoming self-doubt is not just about thinking positively. It is about building a foundation of inner strength, courage, and resilience that allows you to step into your life with purpose and determination. Failure is a stepping stone, And understanding this truth is essential if you want to achieve greatness in your life. Too often, people see failure as a verdict, as proof that they are not capable, not talented, or not worthy. But failure is not the enemy, fear of failure is. Every successful person you admire has faced setbacks, disappointments, and moments when everything seemed to fall apart. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It is the ability to view failure as feedback, as guidance, as a necessary part of growth. Failure is not the end of the journey. It is a marker that you are moving, that you are pushing boundaries, that you are daring to create something meaningful. The first thing to understand about failure is that it is inevitable. If you are attempting to achieve anything worthwhile, you will fail along the way. You will make mistakes. You will encounter obstacles that feel insurmountable. And that is not a sign of weakness. That is proof that you are moving forward, that you are stepping outside your comfort zone, that you are testing your limits. The people who fear failure the most are often those who never try. They remain stuck in routines, in comfort, in mediocrity, believing that avoiding mistakes is the key to safety. But in reality, avoiding failure is the fastest path to a life of regret. A life where your potential remains dormant and your dreams unrealized. Failure is powerful because it teaches you lessons that success cannot. When you fail, you learn about your strengths and your weaknesses, about what works and what doesn't, about the areas where you need to grow and the strategies that will help you succeed in the future. Every failure contains hidden information, guidance that, if you pay attention, will bring you closer to your goals. The sooner you embrace failure as a teacher rather than a threat, the faster you will progress. It is the willingness to analyze, learn, and adapt from setbacks that separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who give up at the first sign of difficulty. Another critical aspect of viewing failure as a stepping stone is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to stand tall, and to keep moving even when circumstances are against you. It is the muscle that develops when you repeatedly confront challenges and refuse to surrender to them. The more you practice resilience, the more confident you become in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. You start to understand that failure is temporary, that it is not a reflection of your worth, and that you have the power to redirect your energy, your mindset, and your actions toward success. Every failure strengthens your resilience and prepares you for the next challenge with more skill, more clarity, and more determination than before. Taking action is essential when it comes to turning failure into a stepping stone. It is not enough to simply accept that failure happens. You must actively use it to propel yourself forward. Every mistake, every setback, every rejection is an opportunity to adjust your strategy, refine your approach, and move closer to the outcome you desire. The most successful people in the world are relentless in their pursuit, and what allows them to persist is their understanding that failure is a natural part of the process, not a permanent state. They do not fear it, they embrace it, analyze it, and use it as fuel to achieve even greater heights. It is also important to understand the mindset shift that comes with embracing failure. When you see failure as a stepping stone rather than a stop sign, you take risks you would have avoided before. You innovate, you experiment, you push boundaries, you start creating opportunities where none existed. Fear of failure often paralyzes people, keeps them from moving forward, and limits the scope of their ambitions. But when you replace fear with understanding and view setbacks as feedback, you open doors to experiences, growth, and achievements that were previously out of reach. Failure is a natural part of life, but it is not a reflection of your potential or your worth. Each failure, when approached with the right mindset, brings you closer to success. It reveals the lessons you need to learn, strengthens your resilience, and fuels your determination. The people who reach extraordinary levels of achievement are not those who never fail. They are those who refuse to let failure stop them, who use it as a guide, and who persist until they achieve their vision. Understanding that failure is a stepping stone allows you to redefine what it means to fail. It is no longer a mark of shame or a reason to quit. It becomes evidence of progress, proof that you are taking action, testing boundaries, and growing. It shifts your perspective from fear to empowerment, from hesitation to boldness, and from limitation to possibility. Each setback is simply a moment in a journey of learning, adaptation, and forward movement. And when you embrace this truth, your approach to life, to challenges, and to opportunity changes fundamentally. Your potential is limitless. And the moment you truly grasp this truth, everything in your life begins to change. Too often, people underestimate themselves. They measure their worth against the expectations of others, their past mistakes, or the temporary circumstances they find themselves in. They look at what they haven't accomplished yet and convince themselves that they are somehow limited. But the reality is that inside you lies an enormous reservoir of ability, creativity, and strength that far exceeds anything you've allowed yourself to recognize. The moment you start acknowledging that potential, the moment you stop placing artificial boundaries on what you can achieve, you open doors to opportunities that were previously invisible. Potential is not static. It is not a fixed trait that some people are born with and others are denied. It is dynamic, growing, and expanding every day you choose to take action, every time you challenge yourself, and every moment you refuse to settle for mediocrity. Your potential is a reflection of your capacity to learn, adapt, and persist, and it can be developed continuously throughout your life. The human mind and spirit are capable of extraordinary things, but most people never realize it because they confine themselves to what feels comfortable, safe, or familiar. When you stop limiting yourself and start exploring the edges of your capabilities, you begin to tap into a power that is truly boundless. Recognizing your potential requires self-awareness. You must be willing to honestly assess your strengths and weaknesses, to identify the areas where you have been playing small, and to understand that the limitations you perceive are often illusions created by fear or habit. Awareness allows you to take stock of your abilities, to notice patterns of thought that have held you back, and to consciously decide to expand beyond them. Once you see your true potential, you begin to act differently. You make choices that align with growth, challenge, and progress, rather than comfort, avoidance, and stagnation. Another essential element in unlocking your limitless potential is courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. Every time you face uncertainty, take risks, or pursue a goal that feels beyond your reach, you exercise courage. Courage stretches your capacity and opens doors to experiences and achievements that were previously unimaginable. The more you practice it, the more you discover what you are capable of, and the more confident you become in pushing boundaries. Courage and potential are inseparable. One feeds the other, creating a cycle of growth and empowerment. Action is the bridge between potential and reality. Potential alone is not enough. It must be activated. Every idea, every skill, and every talent you possess only has value when it is put into practice. Action converts possibilities into achievements. The most talented, intelligent, or gifted individuals who fail to take action remain unfulfilled, while those who embrace action, even imperfectly, begin to realize the scope of their abilities. Each step you take toward your goals reinforces the belief that your potential is real, and it fuels momentum that propels you further than you thought possible. Persistence is also crucial in unlocking your limitless potential. Growth is rarely linear. You will encounter setbacks, delays, and frustrations along the way. But those who understand the limitless nature of their potential know that every obstacle is temporary and every challenge is an opportunity to learn. Persistence strengthens your resolve, builds character, and teaches you that the distance between where you are and where you want to be is only bridged by consistent effort over time. By committing to persist, you continually expand your capacity, proving to yourself that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Another factor in realizing your full potential is mindset. A mindset oriented toward growth, possibility, and abundance allows you to see opportunities where others see barriers. It encourages curiosity, experimentation, and learning, rather than fear, judgment, or avoidance. When you adopt a mindset that believes in your limitless potential, you naturally take actions that align with your goals, think creatively to solve problems, and maintain resilience when faced with challenges. Your mindset becomes the lens through which you experience life, shaping both your perception and your results. Finally, understanding your limitless potential requires commitment. It is a daily practice of choosing growth over comfort, action over hesitation, and belief over doubt. It is a conscious decision to stop measuring yourself by what has already happened, by what others think, or by temporary limitations. Instead, you focus on what is possible, what can be created, and what you are capable of becoming. Your potential is not a static number. It is an ever-expanding frontier, waiting for you to explore, challenge, and realize it fully. Action amplifies belief. It is one of the most powerful truths about human potential, yet it is often overlooked. Many people wait for confidence, for clarity, for the perfect moment to arrive before they take the first step toward their goals. They think belief is something that must come first, that confidence must precede action. But the reality is the opposite. Action is the catalyst that transforms belief from an abstract idea into a tangible, unstoppable force. Every step you take, no matter how small, reinforces the truth that you are capable, that you have the ability to achieve, and that your potential is real. Action generates results, and results feed belief, creating a cycle that builds momentum and transforms your life. The first thing to understand about action is that it breaks the cycle of doubt. When you hesitate, when you overthink, when you wait for the right moment, you give your fears power. Doubt grows stronger in the absence of movement. It feeds on uncertainty and creates a false sense of limitation. But when you act, you confront your fears directly. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you imagined, and each step forward chips away at the foundation of self-doubt. Action is evidence of possibility, a living demonstration that you are not defined by hesitation but by effort and courage. Action also fuels learning and growth. Knowledge alone is insufficient if it is not applied. Ideas, plans, and intentions remain inert until they are activated through effort. Every time you take action, you gather feedback, you gain experience, and you discover what works and what doesn't. Mistakes become lessons, challenges become opportunities, and uncertainty becomes clarity. By taking action consistently, you develop skills, refine strategies, and build the competence that strengthens both belief and confidence. Without action, potential remains latent and dreams remain unfulfilled. Another critical aspect of action is momentum. Human energy responds to movement. The more you do, the more you are able to do. Each completed task, each forward step, builds energy that propels you further than you initially thought possible. Momentum is a powerful amplifier of belief because it creates a sense of inevitability. When you start moving, opportunities begin to appear, solutions emerge, and confidence grows naturally. Action transforms inertia into acceleration, and acceleration transforms belief into a self-sustaining force that drives you toward your goals with increasing clarity and speed. Action also creates resilience. When you face challenges, setbacks, or obstacles, those who act are better equipped to adapt and overcome. Taking action teaches problem solving, perseverance, and flexibility. Each time you encounter difficulty and continue moving forward, you reinforce the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. This resilience is a byproduct of doing, of engaging directly with reality rather than waiting passively for circumstances to change. Action teaches you that you are not defined by problems, but by your ability to respond and persist. The link between action and belief is deeply personal. When you act, you are telling yourself that your dreams, your goals, and your potential are worth pursuing. You are investing in yourself and demonstrating a commitment to growth. Every completed step validates the belief that you are capable of achieving, that you have value, and that your efforts matter. Action bridges the gap between aspiration and reality, turning abstract possibilities into concrete outcomes. Without it, belief remains theoretical. With it, belief becomes tangible, living, and unstoppable. Another element to consider is courage. Action requires courage because stepping into the unknown is rarely comfortable. Every time you take action in spite of fear, you expand your capacity for belief. You prove to yourself that fear does not dictate your choices, that uncertainty is not a barrier, and that your potential is far greater than your doubts. Courage and action work together. Action strengthens courage, and courage motivates action. Together, they create a cycle of empowerment that allows you to tackle challenges that once seemed impossible. Consistency is also crucial. One step is not enough to transform belief into reality. True empowerment comes from repeated, intentional action over time. Each day, you choose to move forward. Even when progress feels slow or obstacles appear, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. Consistent action builds habits, habits build results, and results build unstoppable confidence. The daily decision to act, no matter how small, compounds over time, creating a trajectory of growth that is difficult to reverse and impossible to ignore. Finally, action connects your vision to your life. It converts dreams into reality, goals into achievements, and potential into results. Every time you act, you send a powerful message to yourself and to the world that you are committed, capable, and relentless in pursuing your growth. Action is the fuel that amplifies belief, transforms hesitation into confidence, and turns aspiration into accomplishment. It is through action that belief becomes real, tangible, and enduring, creating a foundation for the extraordinary life you are capable of living.